Well, it was heavily trailed in yesterday's Sunday newspapers that a Labour government would extend full voting rights to EU nationals living in the country and extend the franchise to 16 and 17-year-olds. And this, of course, in some quarters has led to a hell of a row. There's also been an ongoing debate about proportional representation. If Labour needed the Liberal Democrats, would PR be the price that Labour would have to pay? And this is a funny one because the Labour conference last year actually voted for a form of proportional representation. But it's on the EU nationals that most of the headlines have been made. And this morning, Sir Keir Starmer was on LBC Radio, and this is what he had to say.
If someone has been here, say, 10, 20, 30 years, contributing to this economy, part of our community, they ought to be able to vote. Let me bring it alive. I've obviously knocked on a lot of doors in the last few years, and you go to doors sometimes in general election and you're met with someone who says, look, I'm an EU citizen, I've been living here for 30 years, I'm married to a Brit, my kids were raised and brought up here, they're now working in the UK, I'm even working in lots of community projects, etc., but I can't vote. And I think that feels wrong and something ought to be done about it.
Well, it feels wrong to Sir Keir Starmer, but not to most of us. After all, the qualification to vote in a national election is to be a national of that country. And across the rest of Europe, in France and Germany and Portugal and Spain, they don't allow foreign nationals to vote in their general elections. And whilst it's true, Sir Keir, that some EU nationals have been here for 30 years, there are many others who've been here for a very short period of time. Do you want them to have the vote too? Some have said this is pure gerrymandering. He wants to get all those people on the electoral register so that at some point in the future he can take us back, or try to take us back, into the European Union. I don't know for a moment whether that is true or not, but it does seem to me that it feels wrong to me to give foreign nationals the vote. And if they're so dedicated, Keir, to this country, well, why don't they opt for citizenship, go through the legal process, pass the appropriate test? You see, it's as if we're saying being a British citizen, being a British passport holder, doesn't really count for anything. It's an insult, in a way, to the status of that citizenship. That's my thought on it, but please tell me what you think. Does being a British citizen really matter? Farage at gbnews.uk.